What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 21st day of November, and here we are. Bitcoin hit a low today of 80,600. OnyxCoin is down 3.3% today, which is kind of refreshing. It's not fun to see lower lows. It's not fun to see red days. But when the average altcoin's down 5.3%, when Bitcoin's down 3.4%, and you're down less than either of them, it's kind of nice. We had to work for it, though. The reason why we're not dropping as much as the rest of the market is because we've already dropped more than the rest of the market since April, right? Compared to where we were in April, we are down lower than the rest of the market right now. I think. Let me see. Let me see here. From the low, we dropped 38% from the low to this low. The average altcoin, by contrast, since April, yeah, the average altcoin since that same low is up. Oops. Well, that was the time one. I meant to do the percentage one, but you get the point. It's actually up. So maybe that's why. You know, it's nice. It's nice that we're not down as much as the rest of the market today, but we've taken our licks, and that's why, right? There's really not much more selling to go. Who's selling here? All the people who'd be selling here are people who bought even at the worst times, who bought even below these lows here, who've been holding, right? If you held throughout all of this, you're probably not selling here, right? That's just my thought. So there's just no selling pressure, which is good. There's a positive to that. Looking at this here, from a low to a high, we are bouncing right off the golden ratio. We're giving this hell. We are really holding this as support, and that's nice to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we did find support soon enough, but it really does depend on Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin and the rest of the market keeps going lower, it's going to be really hard for OnyxCoin, even if it's not dropping as much, or if it's dropping as much, or if it's dropping more. It's going to be hard for OnyxCoin to move up in the face of danger like that. So let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll see what we're coming up with. I do still, and at the at the cost of my reputation, I still do believe that we are in a bull market, but I do believe that this drop and the magnitude of it at this point, it will change things. It changes things from a time perspective, right? From a price perspective, I still believe in all the price predictions that we've given. From a time perspective, it's going to shift things to the right, right? What do I mean to the right? I mean, if we were in, I wonder, does this look like, is this my left? This is my left, and then this is right. I think if I'm moving to the right on the camera, it looks like I'm pointing left, though. Okay, whatever. I'll do it in the other sense, moving to the right, right? If this is January, August is to the right, right? All I'm trying to say is it moves our targets to the right. It pushes them back, right? So if Bitcoin, if OnyxCoin, if the crypto market as a whole is to recover, our all-time high targets, our next move up projections will happen inevitably, but they won't happen at the time that we thought they would. I actually just made a video on Bitcoin talking about how sorry guys, talking about how somebody said they thought that was a tick of mine whenever I clear my throat. I have asthma, man, and I gotta clear my throat out. That's what it is. It's not a tick. I wish it was a tick. It would be less annoying if it was, but it's something I could fix if it was. But anyways, I was just making a video talking about Bitcoin and how I would expect that if we do recover and see new all-time highs, we still will likely consolidate for about a month. We will likely consolidate for about a month, if not 2 months, somewhere in that kind of time frame, before we see any kind of growth in the markets. And we very well could go lower in that time as well. Okay? XCN USD then, if Bitcoin's consolidating, it's not that we can't bounce here. Maybe we do get an eruptive bounce, but we're likely not going to see the targets that we thought we were going to see by the end of January, right? It's likely going to take some time because Bitcoin is going to take time to recover, right? A lot of us think that, okay, easy come, we dropped down this fast, okay, we can move up even faster, and maybe V-shaped recoveries do happen. But typically in Bitcoin's history, when you get a drop like this, you don't do this. Typically what happens is you'll actually just kind of meander. You might even go lower, you meander, and then you start to move up, okay? Typically that's what happens. So I would expect that now, between now and going into the end of the year, it's probably a good time to accumulate crypto, but don't count on it growing too much, okay? With that being said, altcoins and some coins like OnyxCoin are beat up a lot, so you might see a little bit more of a bounce. It's not that there won't be 100% pumps or more, right? From this price by the end of the year, I could see OnyxCoin pumping 80%, 100% or more. It could happen. I just don't think that it's appropriate to talk about prices above 5 cents until we see, first off, some recovery in Bitcoin, and second off, we see some time. We have to see some time, probably about a month or two. Likely, our targets that we are associating with the end of January will get pushed back if and when they happen. Okay, looking at the daily time frame. Actually, let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll zoom in here. There is some volume coming in, which is nice. A lot of volume at these low points here. It's almost as if, right, you had a double bottom and then you broke out, but it was like a fake out. It's almost like a triple bottom, right? You came back. You had a very nice bit of volatility here. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, we do have bullish divergence on the RSI, but that move has already been made as far as these pumps go. So there's that. The stochastics look bullish. The MACD looks bearish. Overall, these indicators are very bullish, but I would think that from here we do move up a little bit more. Now, how much higher do we go? I don't know. If we can get 1 hour time frames to close above about 0.00565, let's even say 0.0057. If you can get 1 hour time frames to close above there, we're likely at a relative low point, and we will return probably to prices that are around 0.008 or higher. Okay. 4 hour time frame. And the reason why we think 0.008 or higher, let's just see. You know, this low, I guess it's actually like 0.0075 or higher. Maybe we should say that. That's where this low is. That's where this low is. I'm thinking prior areas of resistance, and there's this zone here. It's at like 0.085. It would probably be more likely that we go to like 0.009 or higher, but at least 0.075, if not higher, from here if we do, and when we do, get above 0.0057. We get above 0.0057, we're likely going to 0.0075 or higher. 4 hour time frame. Bouncing off the oversold zone is nice. That is nice, I will say. Wicks to the upside are not so nice. Very bearish RSI overall. We've bounced off the oversold zone a handful of times, and while that is nice, it did not merit much, so don't get hung up on it if we do go lower. Stochastics are bearish, but here you are postured in a way that would make me think we go higher for the time being. And the MACD is bearish as well. Not a lot to go off of. I mean, yeah, not a lot to go off of at all. Daily time frame, there's bullish divergence. Bullish divergence on the MACD, bullish divergence on the stochastics, and on the RSI. This bullish divergence would be good enough. It is good enough for a move to about 0.0636 or higher. And typically, when you have bullish divergence between 2 points, you don't just go back to where that divergence started. You actually go through it a little bit, which again, I think 0.075 or 0.007 something around there, that's a good implied kind of target area. That'd be my expectation. Again, we could come up all the way here, find resistance right at this point, come back down, and then we'd have a little inverse head and shoulders pattern, wouldn't we? Maybe it's not 0.075 or higher that we go to. Maybe it is really 0.073. Moving that target down a little bit. Still, though, from the current price, that's about a 48% pump. That's not bad. But, you know, we'll take anything at this point. Daily time frame, bullish divergence on the RSI, stochastics, and the MACD. Good things going there. Weekly time frame. Again, I still don't know whether or not to call this bullish divergence. I want to, but just because I want to doesn't mean I should. Bullish divergence on the stochastics, and then the RSI is the most oversold that we've seen it since 2023 in about 2 years. We could go lower, of course, but I would think that there is going to be some type of reverberation back to the upside here. We're finding support here at prior areas of resistance. If we take this line and we put it right there, literally finding support right at prior resistance. Can we go lower? Sure. We can go a little bit through this line, and that's fine. Maybe we go down all the way down to this point of resistance where it interacts with that wick there, and we find support at this base area here. Maybe that's what we do. You know, especially if Bitcoin and the rest of the market drops, I could see that happening. But I would expect and do expect that when we do recover, not that it'll be a straight line, not that we won't find turbulence at various areas, consolidate and continue to move up, you know, whatever. But I think if we're zoomed out here, looking at it on a weekly time frame, it might just seem like we are moving up pretty straight all the way up toward 1 cent or higher. Okay, I do think OnyxCoin, XCN faithful, holders, stakers, whatever, we're the XCN stakers, because that's probably one of the best parts about OnyxCoin is the staking yield. Honestly, it's a very high yield. It's got to be with this dropping, man. They're just dumping it on us and then yielding it back to us. That's what it is. Whenever we move up, I'm making jokes here. Whenever you got to be somewhat humorous and cynical at these lows, right? You got to be. When we move up here, I would very much expect that we do. When we move up, we would probably move right back to about 1 cent. Prior support zone here, prior support zone here, a little bit of turbulence in here, psychological resistance there, right? It just makes sense. And then, of course, V-shaped recovery from this low. It just makes sense that we'd go right up somewhere around that area. So I do think we'll see that. And at that point, maybe we could talk a little bit more about when prices will be all the way up above 5 cents again. But for the time being, I just want to focus on the next step ahead, right? One step at a time. I still do believe that we will see prices above this high. I still do believe that OnyxCoin will go to new all-time highs. It'll see a 10-cent price, 21-cent price, somewhere in there and beyond as time goes on. We'll see $1 and more by the end of this cycle or the next at this point. But I do very much believe in those targets that they will happen. But first, we have to, again, figure ourselves out with Bitcoin and probably see some time, right? Even if we move up, even if Bitcoin consolidates here for the next month or two, we consolidate and then we move up. And in that time, OnyxCoin has moved up to 1 cent. Even then, I would still be cautious here because it still sets us up for a lower high. We could still pull back, and who knows, we could even go lower. You never know. But I'd be a lot more optimistic. Not just once we're above 1 cent, but once we're above about 1.14 cents. And then we're not just optimistic, but very bullish once we get above 2 cents. Once we get above the golden ratio, get above this high point here, at that point, then it's completely appropriate. It would be inappropriate to talk about anything else other than 9 cents to 21 cents and beyond. But until then, until we're above about 2 cents, let's just focus on 1 cent. We'll get there, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to drink some water. Take care. Bye-bye.